Black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman.
Just so we're all on the same page, she is talking about that white woman who's about to become a millionaire for calling a black 5-year-old boy the N-word. Saying the reason why people are praising her is because they're sick and tired of black people's ghetto-ness and complaining and being perpetual victims. She's saying, oh my God, so what? We have done horrendous, heinous things to you and your ancestors for centuries. So what?
Where's the wealth gap fatigue? Where's profiling black people because you don't believe that they belong in a neighborhood fatigue? Where's the bad parenting because the bulk of your kids are pum-puning schools fatigue? Where's stealing black content creators' content and not crediting them fatigue? Where's crying white woman tears when you are the offender fatigue? Where?
So you're tired of our actions. You're tired of us talking about it. You're tired of the black victimhood. You are so fatigued by the black community, but you won't leave us alone. That's my big question to all of the people who are on this app talking about they have black fatigue. If you are so worn out, why don't you leave us alone?
Black fatigue is a term that non-black people are using to express the fact that they are sick and tired of being held accountable for saying and doing whatever the hell they want to black people. They're sick and tired of black people bucking up at the system, bucking up at people, telling people, hey, you shouldn't be saying that to us. Hey, you cannot do this to us. Hey, we will not let you disrespect us. Hey, we will not let you say whatever you want and do what you want to us. People are sick.
Black fatigue, this is where we at now. Imagine how we feel. Y'all even colonized that. Like, black fatigue is not what y'all created it to be. It was the fatigue of black people having to exist in this country and dealing with all y'all dumb shit. We were tired, not y'all. Imagine telling the internet that you're tired of all the ghetto-ness and the ratchetness and all of the fights when y'all are quite literally the godfathers of violence in this country. And then all the ghetto and ratchet speak, your kids are emulating exactly what we say and calling it Gen Alpha and Gen Z speak when it was just AAVE repackaged.
Hey my people, Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that from wherever you my lovelies are watching this from, you're doing all right and God has protected you and preserved you very well. I do appreciate all of you that keep supporting. Thank you for the super thanks and super chats. My members, a big shout out to you guys. You do me amazing. And definitely, as always, we are back with another interesting episode. Look at, right? Yes. There's a lady that came out and she said people are, especially these people, are undergoing what they call black fatigue because they are tired of black people being animalistic, ghetto, and victimizing themselves. But she brought this narrative after actually trying to defend that lady that called a 5-year-old an N-word with that strong or hard R. And it has sparked quite a lot of outrage and responses from black people. Now, I'm not going to play any reaction of a person that panders to white supremacy because but I'm going to play the reactions of black people to this lady or their responses to this lady and how they feel about this so-called black fatigue, right? We're going to watch these videos, come back and talk about them. Credit goes to the creators again. And let me know what you think about this so-called black fatigue and how palm-colored people are so tired. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're landing on here for your very first time.
Oh, TikTokers have decided to hijack the term black fatigue to describe their racism. Here it is.
The woman who called a 5-year-old a racial slur. My first impression after watching the video, a little bit of white trash. I have to be honest, the kid was 5. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. Absolutely everything they do is out of pocket. They're like little unhinged drunk people. Nothing they do makes sense. A 5-year-old is capable of rifling through somebody's bag and taking things that don't belong to them. Ask any kindergarten teacher. But I realize why so many people are wanting to defend this. Because Black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman. But what she did is not praiseworthy. But also on the same hand, please remember that every day that us white people get on this app, we get called racial slurs every single day. So if you don't want to be called a racial slur, you also have to stop calling people racial slurs. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth.
If I'm not allowed to blame you for all of my life's problems, then you're not allowed to blame me for yours.
When I first got on, before I got on TikTok, I thought that racism was only white people being racist. I was so wrong. It makes me sad because there are so many black people that are racist, and this black fatigue, it's real. We're tired of it. All these dear white women, dear white people.
Black fatigue? This is where we at now? Imagine how we feel. Y'all even colonized that. Like, black fatigue is not what y'all created it to be. It was the fatigue of black people having to exist in this country and dealing with all y'all dumb shit. We were tired, not y'all. Imagine telling the internet that you're tired of all the ghetto-ness and the ratchetness and all of the fights when y'all are quite literally the godfathers of violence in this country. And then all the ghetto and ratchet speak, your kids are emulating exactly what we say and calling it Gen Alpha and Gen Z speak when it was just AAVE repackaged to be palatable for white people. What are we talking, like, y'all are quite literally exhausting. But like 8.5 by 11s are gonna do this all the time. I'm not worried about the hueless. However, the black people getting on and co-signing the black fatigue to make white people feel better could not be me. I imagine agreeing with white people when they aren't even picking you. Super weird. But like, sure, being held accountable for your racist ideology. If I were white and I had to constantly hear that black people are right and then it proves out and you're sitting there being mad, yeah, I'd be mad too. I too would be annoyed if I were half the age of black women but looked twice as old as them. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. So like, hold your black fatigue and raise yourself some accountability. Because oof, happy Monday, y'all. Black fatigue, shut up.
Just so we're all on the same page, she is talking about that white woman who's about to become a millionaire for calling a black 5-year-old boy the N-word. She is talking about a white woman who used a racial slur against a little black boy, and she is saying the reason why people are praising her is because they're sick and tired of black people's ghetto-ness and complaining and being perpetual victims. She's saying, oh my God, so what? We have done horrendous, heinous things to you and your ancestors for centuries. So what? So fucking what? Stop bitching about the lynchings and the racism and slavery and Jim Crow and oh my God, like let it go. You ghetto fucking hood rats. Like, so what if we're like racist to you? We're not as racist to you as we used to be. Like, we really could be treating you like shit. And here you are fucking complaining. Like the ghetto hood rats you are. I just wanted to translate in case no one understood what she said.
App just now to see that the word black fatigue is trending amongst a lot of different people. And before I made this video, I scrolled on it and I said, let me see what people are talking about.
Because hoodrattery, animalistic, this This is why people have black fatigue. I'm sick and tired of opening up TikTok and seeing brawls on cruise ships, brawls in the airport, like literally the most ghetto behavior. We're tired.
A white woman was talking about Shiloh Hendricks, the lady that called the 5-year-old the N-word. And she said, that shouldn't have happened, but people have black fatigue. People are tired of ghetto-ness, loudness. People are just tired of black people. So we all have fatigue. And it got me thinking, I've heard the phrase black fatigue before. And I know in my heart of hearts that that relates to the fatigue that black people experience existing in this country and around the world, dealing with racism and prejudices that have been put on us due to the history of violence, Jim Crow, segregation. So how are white people appropriating black fatigue? They replaced DEI with black fatigue. And you guys are using that because you're tired of being held accountable for things that you should be held accountable for in this country, and you want to be openly racist to us. This entire discourse is rooted in racism. You want to be able to say you're tired of black people for having a voice. You're tired of us for existing in spaces we exist in. You're tired of us for not all being poor. You're tired of the fact that some of us are doing better than you, but when we live in a country that is based on racism and systematic racism that still exists today, you can't be mad that we're calling you out for it. What the fuck are we talking about? America is a country that suffers from delusion, lack of education, and basically exists in a consistent state of dementia, because the cognitive dissonance that many white people have that exist in this country it alarms me. The fact that this country was founded and predicated on owning bodies and killing off natives. That is the foundation story of this country. Yes, we became one of the most successful countries in the world, but that is the heart and soul of this country. It is rooted in racism. The Declaration of Independence was rooted in racism. The Constitution was written with racism. So the fact that you think you can exist, and we're only out of segregation for how many years now? Not even a generation, not even 2 generations out of segregation. The fact that you think you can exist without racism internally inside of you is crazy. It's crazy. We're all racist. Everybody that exists out of a racist system is racist, especially if you are the one that benefited from said racism. You have to do a lot of unlearning, unpacking, and re-educating yourself onto what racism means, because you guys hear the word racism, you're like, I'm not racist, I have black friends. It doesn't mean you're going out with crosses on fire. There are levels to the internalized racism, the internalized biases versus violent, aggressive racism. But racism is the foundation of America. So the fact that you don't want to hear about it is not my problem. The funniest thing about white people in this country is that the lack of education that they have on their own history and how they've been all sold a lie and socialized to believe that they're here and we're violent and they're not is fucking crazy. You ever seen a redneck? You ever been to a trailer park? You ever seen a meth addict in New Mexico? That all of the people on welfare in this country are white. 96% of them are white. But meanwhile, black people are poor, uneducated, animalistic, violent. All the list goes on. Your ancestors literally killed off millions of people who are on this land, stole it, raped, robbed, killed them, stole us, raped, robbed, killed us, procreated with us, and made us procreate with each other and our families. Yeah, the list goes on. The only people who are sick with animalistic practices are you and your ancestors. Upon further review, after seeing 5 or 6 black people make this black fatigue video, it got me thinking into the respectability politics of this type of video they're making, because not only are they generalizing the actions of all black people and lumping us into one group, you are policing the actions of people per the standardized or acceptable behavior that white people are saying that we should have. Interesting. What you're doing by making these videos is you're allowing white people to not take accountability and not hold themselves to a standard that they can just be racist and prejudiced towards us and say that their behaviors are acceptable and their way of life and living is acceptable in this country, but ours isn't. It's really befuddling me that you as a black person can go online with your chest and say you have black fatigue because everybody's ghetto, or you have black fatigue because everybody's loud. That's not the fucking case. And even if you are, quote unquote, this highly educated, highly classy black person, you're still loud. You still have an auntie who looks like the person you're talking about. You still have cousins who are the people you're talking about. So why make this video? I will never understand black people that pander to white people. I will never. There's nothing in my being that would ever allow me to have an internal conversation externally on this app so white people feel comfortable saying how they feel about us in the open and make it a whole thing. Imagine you are allowing white persons to say they have black fatigue. They're tired of black people being victims. They're tired of black people saying racism. They're tired of black people existing. Every day on this app is something new. Y'all gotta do better. Do better.
Black fatigue has showed me one thing. These people are tired of seeing us enjoy ourselves despite everything that's going on around us. So let's ramp it up. Let's ramp it up. We had Kendrick Super Bowl, Beyonce halftime. We got both of them touring right now. We just had the Black Ass Met Gala. We got Sinners that came out. You know what I'm saying? We got Philly won the Super Bowl. Let's ramp this shit up. If they think they're exhausted now, just wait till November. It's only gonna get blacker from here.
Why is racism coming back? More buzzwords to justify it. The newest one is black fatigue. Before that, it was DEI. You understand there's never anything good enough for these races, right? Let's explain what black fatigue actually is. Black fatigue is actually a book on how racism erodes the mind, body, and spirit and explores systemic racism and its effect on black people. These racists aren't even smart enough to know the definitions of the words they're using, such as DEI. Why are we giving them any attention? And why are they increasing in number? Most people that are racist have zero black friends, have never interacted with a black person in their life, but they're somehow racist still. Because they're chronically online. You chronically online people need to get a life. Yeah, you're chronically online. No wonder you're so scared and angry at everything all the time, and you're looking for an outlet, and for some reason that expression comes to making up some new crazy buzzword to be obsessed with a group of people that have no idea who you are and have never thought about you, but your entire thought process is on them. We're actually talking about race in 2025 and justifying 5-year-olds getting called slurs with autism. What? And I go outside in real life and none of y'all are outside. They're chronically online. But go ahead, keep dropping your videos. We're gonna find out who you are. We will. We're gonna find out who you are. Please make more videos. Honestly, I'm convinced a lot of racist people just got rejected by a black person or felt rejected, and this is like their life.
Black fatigue? That's the best you could do to try to get the attention of black people is black fatigue. Baby, listen, if you got a problem with what's coming up on your timeline or your FYP, stop watching, because that's the only reason why it's coming up, because you watching, baby. That's why. Black fatigue, you want to say what you want to say what you want to say, but say it with your chest, okay? Don't get on here saying what you want to say and then play the victim, okay? And putting up GoFundMe's, asking for help and all of that. If you gonna say it with your chest. Black fatigue is what you came up with. We do not care. Baby, we've been tired for centuries. We could care less what you feel about us. What you tired of seeing is these educated black people. That's what you tired of seeing. You tired of seeing these black people surviving behind everything that y'all still trying to do. That's what you tired of seeing. But you will never say it. You will never say it. That's what you tired of seeing. You tired of seeing black people survive throughout all the stuff that y'all trying to do. That's what you tired of seeing. But if you gonna say what you want to say it with your chest. Okay? And deal with the consequences that come behind it. Good day.
Even crazier is that originally the term black fatigue was created to express the mental, emotional, and physical toll, the exhaustion that black people felt living under systematic racism and oppression. But the ancient yet very active, especially nowadays, pillar of racism in America glows ever so brightly. And now terms and words with original meanings like DEI and black fatigue have turned to dog whistles for other people to talk about how they feel about minorities, especially black people, especially black fatigue. But frankly, my thing is I don't really know why we need dog whistles, because it's clear that you live in a system that wants you to say how you truly feel. Say the words that are slipping off your tongue. Matter of fact, they'll pay you to say it. You'll get almost $500,000 if you just say it on anybody. It doesn't matter who they are, a baby, an old man. It doesn't matter who they are or what they done. Just look at them and just say it. Just make sure you keep yourself full frame so we could see who you are. We want to congratulate you in person. I saw a Talking Corpse today talk about how she had black fatigue because she was sick of the ghetto, the animalistic behaviors of certain black people. And let me remind you that this is coming from people who used our skin as furniture and who ate us as a delicacy. The same people who fed our children to crocodiles and forced incest upon many families to breed us like dogs. The same people who enjoyed watching strange food flowing from tree to tree while they enjoyed a picnic with their family. Same people who've shed more blood than the Crusades and raised more torture in levels that Hellraiser himself could not even imagine. But okay, enjoy your black fatigue.
Hear me and hear me good. Majority of our people that you see jumping on here hollering about they have black fatigue, look at all of them, the men and the women, our people that's hollering about they got black fatigue, and you will see a comparison. You know what the comparison is? It's a bunch of motherfucking Hillary Banks, Carlton Banks, and Candace Owens. That's what majority of their asses is. Just pay close attention. After you finish listening to that video, I want you to look in the comments and tell me what the fuck you see. A bunch of non-black people in the comments screaming loudly and proudly about the shit that they hate that we do. Let's be clear. I don't give a damn how sick and tired of being sick and tired I am. I won't ever get on this goddamn app and create a motherfucking space for no goddamn clear people or anybody that's not black to get in my comments and feel like they got a carnival or a parade to be able to finally express themselves and drag us to hell. You won't ever see that in the light of day. I will swallow my motherfucking car keys before I ever let a hoe get in my comments and talk shit about my people. Listen, I'm from an era where we can get on our own people ass about the shit that they do and we tired of. We can check our own people. But you hoes better not ever feel comfortable enough to slide y'all German Shepherd smelling asses up in these comments and say anything about mine. I don't give a damn what y'all claiming y'all sick and tired of. Y'all are a bunch of motherfucking Hillary Banks, Carlton Banks, and Candace Owens. All of y'all. That's exactly what y'all giving. And the fact that some of y'all are also in the goddamn comments hyping up non-black people who rawing and kicking with them and supporting the shit that they saying. It's ridiculous. You won't ever see me get on here saying no shit like that and creating a space where anybody can feel comfortable to talk about me or my goddamn people. Because I can read my people my goddamn self. I don't need no cheerleader. I don't need no pom-poms. If I'm sick of tired of seeing that my people doing it, I can tell their ass that. I can express that amongst us. But a bitch will never be able to feel comfortable enough to get in my comment section and talk down and drag my motherfucking people. It won't ever happen. And to me, y'all are some clowns.
I went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to post this video, but I think that it's important. There's nothing more exhausting than being black in America. On Wednesday, May 7th, my daughter and her high school track team went to a city here in Wisconsin called Racine. They attended a track meet at Waterford Union City High School. Upon arrival at that track meet, people began taunting them, calling them gangsters and thugs, and calling them the N-word with the hard R. This continued throughout the time that the team remained at the track meet, with not only just student athletes from Waterford Union High School, but parents and coaches as well, making monkey noises, taunting them, calling them gangsters and the N-word. You think you have black fatigue? We do too. Imagine us still getting called the same insults that your ancestors hurled at ours in 2025. We don't blame you for our problems. We blame you for the continuance of systemic racism. It's shown through your children. It's shown through your actions, and you just showed it through your page. And this person is an educator. Again, this is what I'm talking about. If you want to help the students at Rufus King High School who were victims of this racist attack, please go to my link tree. There is an email that you can send to Waterford Union High School demanding accountability and transparency and a plan moving forward to address the racism that exists in their school district. Okay? Bye.
White people who are appropriating the term black fatigue are doing so because their goal was to never see us happy in our blackness, be proud of our blackness, choose blackness over whiteness. Being is it that we make up such a small percentage of America, it's interesting to me how offended they are by maybe 1 out of 10 people, if they even know one of us.
If white people are having black fatigue, I can only imagine the fatigue indigenous people have for white people. I can only imagine.
There was a white woman who has now since deleted her video talking about black fatigue and how she and the rest of society are so fed up with the ghetto and ratchet behavior, the entitlement, the victimhood. Her words, not mine. Couple of things. One, black fatigue is a real thing, but it's not what that lady was saying. Black fatigue is the emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by the daily stress of living under systemic racism and its consequences. So the black community has black fatigue due to the oppression they've lived under in this country since its inception. Two, it never ceases to amaze me how little most white people are willing to look at the true history of this nation and understand that while they personally may not have owned slaves or lynched black people or used black babies as alligator bait or conducted experiments on black people or operated on black women without pain medicine because they didn't think black women could feel pain, they are still benefiting off the society and systems that made those things possible. Racism is deeply rooted in this country from the beginning. We stole this land from the indigenous Native Americans. We brought black people to this country against their will and sold them into slaveries. We ripped their families apart. We have maligned, maimed, and misused the black community since the first ship arrived on the shores of the United States. Do you understand how hard the fight has been to get even a semblance of equality in this country? And now, what little progress we've made is being undone by this administration. Trump and this administration has made people like that woman and the many racist commenters on that post feel comfortable to speak so publicly about their racist views and feelings. Because, spoiler alert, nothing will happen to them. Black people are questioned about everything they do, even if they're just walking down the street. Until this country as a whole accepts responsibility for how we were designed and built, this country will never see true equality.
So here's my honest opinion about black fatigue. Black fatigue actually exists. However, black fatigue does not exist in a way that a lot of non-black people think. It has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. It is the culture, the society, and the environment you are raised in. It has nothing to do with race, and it never was about race, because if it was about race, then every black person would be acting like that. Black fatigue is a poison well that is consumed by certain locations and environment. Another majorly important factor is accountability. If black people in general don't hold each other and others accountable for our and their actions, there will be no change within our communities. The destruction of property and violence, the need to be extremely fucking loud and ratchet for no reason. I've seen some of these videos from non-white people talking about the black fatigue, and they do have a point. And for the black people who is watching this, believe me, I did not want to hear any of this shit from non-black people. However, some of them, not all of them, because some of them were just straight up racist, but some of them had some solid points. When it comes to gentrification, credit score, stimulus check, lack of funding for black public schools and neighborhoods, government, the CIA, United Healthcare, all of this was targeted towards the black community so we can end up how we are today. At this moment in 2025, the CIA and the government, they're running on autopilot because we're doing the work for them. They have done enough damage towards the black community that they can sit back, crack open a fucking beer, and watch us tear each other apart. The United States' greatest weapon they have on the black community is the black community not holding each other accountable for our actions. Truthfully, we need to start doing that more. We need to follow in our ancestors' footsteps, because what they had back then, they had it right. Not everything has to change and not everything has to be progressive. There are some things that they done in the past was better as it was, and that's completely fine. I am not saying we should just roll over and let them do what they want to do. Instead of only striving for black excellence, we should also strive for black power. Loud, the ratchet, the ghetto, the ignorant and uneducated, I have mutual love for them because they are my brothers and sisters. Even then, most of the time, I do not associate with them. But it's because of people like this that exist in our community that gets the spotlight and paints the picture of what black people seem like. They get all the attention. They always end up on the news. Why? It's because they cause a distraction. They cause a problem for other people. And you know who are the first ones to put us on the internet? You guessed it. The media. Hell, even our own people do it as well, for clout, for fame, for money. They sell out our own people, make us look bad just to fill up their pockets. And that is another problem to address in our community. Stop labeling us and stop painting us negatively just to make yourself look better or richer. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, when people like this in our community gets the spotlight, many people automatically assume that we are a monolith and we act like them. It's either you are ghetto, loud, and trashy, or you are whitewashed. They never look in between the lines and understand that black people are completely far from a monolith and we can be absolutely anything we want. Every non-black person, and yes, that includes every person of color, they always go out of their way to tell us that they are not a monolith, that they are all different. We are too. But while we have our own issues, it's important to teach history, but it's also important that we do what we can to change what is happening now. That is all I have to say on the matter. This is Onyx, and I'll see you.
So first, it was woke. Then it was DEI. And now, black fatigue. What's ironic about this is when you look up black fatigue, the actual definition, it means us being sick and tired of their Ray-Rayness. It doesn't mean what she means for it to mean, which is them being sick of us. But what I can't understand is how people like this can both be the perpetrator, but also play the victim at the exact same time. You get to commit the act and reap the rewards from the victimhood. That is an amazing talent, honestly. I don't know how you do it, but you do. You know, back when I was growing up, people like this were afraid to be open about their Ray-Rayness. Because back in those days, there was a certain way of curing black fatigue. Now, I don't advocate for this cure. It went out of practice for a reason. All I'm saying is, I would be very careful with who I say this in front of. Because you might run into the wrong person who could administer this cure. And if they did, I would not feel sorry for you. Because quite frankly, I'm suffering from white fatigue. And that's something we've been dealing with for 400 years. And even when we try to get away from you, you won't leave us alone. Look up Black Wall Street and then come back to me about black fatigue. But look here, my Alabaster comrades, you see what I see. Thank you for not being that. Do not let these people take us back. We have to keep moving forward. Anyways, give me your thoughts down below. Like, comment, reshare, and get this in front of as many people as possible. Stay hopeful, trust your gut, and always know you're not crazy.
They're calling it black fatigue, but what you really mean is I'm tired of loving wounded black people. You can just say that part with your chest. That's what you wanted to say. You're not tired because we're toxic. You're tired because your love had conditions. Yours. You didn't come to heal, you came to curate. You came to save a version of black society that was already fixed and no one praised you for it. And when we didn't perform your healing fantasy, you called it draining. This archetype always shows up during collapse, the one that confuses proximity with pain and with proof that they're better than it. Right? They have proof that they're better than it. That's how they see it, right? But you have to understand that you're not above the wound just because you narrate it from a distance. You're just protecting your image in the mirror while the rest of us are still trying to stitch it back together. You didn't transcend us. You abandoned us. Real black love doesn't tap out when it gets loud. It doesn't leave when the wounds resurface. It metabolizes. It listens longer. It doesn't call the hood low vibrational just because it got a better apartment. Love doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. And some of y'all don't have love for us. And that's cool. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's cool, but I need you to know that the left is something you can get over. You could, right? And if you really tired, rest, right? If you're actually tired, but don't call that healing. That's retreat, because this ain't fatigue. It's spiritual gentrification we're watching, and these are spiritually gentrified people. You're not leaving because you're broken. You're leaving because our brokenness didn't fit your aesthetic anymore. And I need you to hear me clearly. We are not your inconvenience. Okay, we're not. We are your mirror, and if you truly heal, you'll still be here with us, not above us, right? So I get it, right? This is one thing I think is absolutely true. You do not have to like every black space, but don't ever use fatigue as an excuse to stop loving the ones who never had that option to leave. Just stupid shit. I wanted to tell a joke in this video, but these people upset me a lot.
So AmeriKKKans are now saying that they are feeling black fatigue. But I don't recall them feeling fatigue when they were stealing our music, stealing our dances, stealing our hairstyles, stealing our vernacular, stealing our vibe, and essentially stealing our culture, which leans right into cultural appropriation and then taking our culture and then misrepresenting it. So if anyone should feel fatigue right now, it should be black people, because we are tired and we are exhausted with people stealing our culture. In particular, KKKans.
Black fatigue is a term that non-black people are using to express the fact that they are sick and tired of being held accountable for saying and doing whatever the hell they want to black people. They're sick and tired of black people bucking up at the system, bucking up at people, telling people, hey, you shouldn't be saying that to us. Hey, you cannot do this to us. Hey, we will not let you disrespect us. Hey, we will not let you say whatever you want and do what you want to us. People are sick and tired of being told no. That is what black fatigue is. You guys are being told no and you don't like it, especially white people. Y'all not used to black people telling you no. You don't like that. So whenever you see these white folks talk about some black fatigue, they can paint it however they want to. They can sit here and say, oh, we're just sick and tired of you guys complaining all the time. No, you guys are sick and tired of being held accountable. That's what it is. Own that.
And to the black folks that agree with those white folks, when it happens to your children, I don't want to hear nothing. And I mean nothing.
Black fatigue is the talk of the town right now, and I've already made a video about it, but I feel like my message was lost behind my bonnet because people like to assume things when black women are wearing bonnets. But as always, they're going to take the definition and they're going to flip it and twist it just like they did with the word woke, because woke was used for us to describe how we are becoming more aware of what's actually going on in the community and how we're being suppressed to stay within impoverished circumstances. But to my black content creators, the ones that are in the comments who are agreeing to push this agenda, to push this narrative, who are being gaslit because maybe you make a little over $100,000 a year, maybe $200,000 a year, and you feel like that puts you in a tax bracket to speak against the microaggressions that happen in the black community, I'm talking to you at this point. For y'all to sit up here, jump in the comments, and agree that black people are the most violent race of people in the United States is absolutely asinine. Did you know that 59%, as of now, and you can go look this up, white people, white counterparts, are the most violent group in the United States. However, it is more than likely black people will be arrested for things like violent crimes and murders only because they're black, not because they create more crimes. It's only because they are more than likely to be prosecuted for their crime. Oh, well, it starts in the home. There's more black children who are brought up in poverty and EBT and Section 8 housing, and they're the ones that are causing all the violent crimes. Not true. According to statistics, 50% of white juvenile children have been more violent than 46% compared to the black juvenile children. And you can go look this up. And then we keep hearing the argument about black people in a certain demographic holding up white ideology by living off government assistance, by living off Section 8. National Academy Press determined that 26% of government/welfare assistance is given to black people in America, black individuals, while 23% is given to Hispanics in the United States. Guess how many of the percentage is for white people? It's 46%. 46% of welfare government assistance is given to white individuals. And you might say, well, it's a larger group of white people in the United States, and it's a smaller group comparable. So there's still more than half of the percentage of welfare is going to blacks and going to Hispanics. No, it's the same. It's the same. It still comes out to be the same. So white people are the largest group in the United States that are welfare recipients. So your argument there is extremely flawed. You are creating the perception. You all are perpetuating what black culture is when you're wearing those Louis Vuitton monogram shirts. You're no different. That's why they create them, because they know black people like yourselves who are making $200,000-$300,000 a year love to wear things to show off your level of income. They know that. They know you want to buy those Beyonce tickets. And guess what? They get in the comment section of those videos and they call you the N-word and they say that y'all are using your money wrong and you're not reinvesting. And a lot of you are on this app who are making tons of money. And guess what? You're still on here making tons of money and you're not reinvesting that money. You're not saving it. You're not putting it in an IRA. So you're still perpetuating what their idea of black is, regardless of you not being on government assistance, regardless of you not being on Section 8 housing. They still have a perception of you that fits their narrative of what black looks like. You don't have to be on any government assistance. And by you all jumping in the comments and making videos to support the gaslighting, all you're doing is furthering their narrative. And then they expect us to just let it go. Racism it wouldn't exist if you all would just act right, stop being animalistic and stop being violent. But yet and still we're living under an administration that wants to make America great again. What does that mean though? That means they want to go back to the past. So we can't harp on the past. We can't learn from our past. We can't take into accountability and to consideration, I'm not going to make the same mistakes twice because of what happened in the past, but y'all can do that. Y'all can go back to making America great again. That's what you can do. Also by deporting innocent people to countries they've never lived in, And while we stay here, even though we don't have to face that reality, this is what we are facing. Microaggressions, injustice, extreme racism, extreme gaslighting, and it's working on some of you, as I can see. I'm just trying to say, before you try to paint yourselves to look better than other Black people of a certain demographic, understand that regardless of what's in your pocket, regardless of what's in your bank account, regardless of how you're dressed, how you position yourself, they are always going to see you as no more than a Negro. And that's just it.
Watching her video and her justifying someone that called a 5-year-old an N-word, and they justified it by saying that this autistic 5-year-old was behaving like N-words, is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And that's one thing that will never ever make me understand people that sacked white supremacy and white supremacy propaganda. Because you'll quite see a number of them that are coming out to defend this, and they're like, Black people are tired of Black people too, so everybody else is tired of us. Like, make it make sense. How do you suck to people that don't even think you are human enough? They don't even think you are human enough. Because trust me, if you think these people are looking at you as an individual, these people are looking at you as a group. They lump you all together. Before they hear you speak and defend them or come in defense for them, you'll be lumped all together with the same people that you were attacking, your own people, right? You know, she did this because Black people victimized themselves. Where's the victimization over here? How do you find it right to call a 5-year-old who is, autistic and something, and you're saying, it's because they were behaving like N people? The thing is, when it comes to behavior and mannerisms and all these patterns, right? And the way we behave as humans, palm-colored people will easily justify behaviors of palm-colored people, but they will never ever hold Black people of the same age in the same, like on the same weighing scale, right? That's why you realize if a Black boy commits crime, that is a man. If a boy in the palm-colored community commits a crime, that's a child. He's a minor. So we are never held on the same standard. And this sucks because the same people that are tired of Black people are tired of them too. If you're talking about Black fatigue, Black people have been tired of you for not hundreds of years. We're not talking about the hundreds of years Black people have been in America. No. We are talking about thousands of years of your behaviors, of your savagery, of you literally plundering, of you murdering, of you stealing, of you destabilizing worlds. The whole world is tired of you. People have had white fatigue for the longest, and it's not going to go anywhere. The world is tired of you. And you want to play reverse psychology right now and make people feel bad for having a voice. Because I think these people are used to the generations where Black people were slaves, where they could not say anything, right? Because, they're afraid of their masters. If you think that is the same generation or that is the same period that Black people are not going to call out anti-Blackness and racism or things that are unjust that happen to Black people, stop thinking Black people are victimizing themselves when they're actually calling out the things that you guys do to them. I feel like Black people have to burst your bubble for you to believe that you are in a real world right now. It's so crazy, like it doesn't even make sense at all. We are arguing with people that think it is normal not to take baths because by the mere fact that they are pale skins, right? Because if you are going to generalize black people and lump them in the same group, I feel like it would only be okay for black people to do the same and lump all of you in the same group. But this is the kind of people that black people are arguing with, that think it is normal not to take baths. We are arguing with people that think it is okay to go and bomb and steal lands from people and normalize and justify that. If you don't like black people, why don't you give them reparations? Like, you don't want them, right? You're tired of them, right? And if you really, really don't like them, it's so crazy because you brought them to your lands, right? Forced them to adapt to your behavior. Now, as a result of your savagery and your inhumanity, because a lot of you behave soulless and insensitive to serious matters. These people, they are very selective to what they take and what they don't take. They are very insensitive to matters and things that happen to black people, right? But then they are quick to run with you. Are tired of black people when something happens to their own. If you really, really want to be genuine people, hold yourself on the same standard like you do hold black people. If you're saying that you are tired of black people are tired of you, but it's not just black people. In the eyes of everybody, you are colonizers, you are killers, you are murderers. And I feel like the guilt is too big that you can't take it. That's why you try to really come out and justify these behaviors with... But the thing is, even the fellow palm-colored people that understand better, they will never ever suck to this, white supremacy propaganda, because to be honest, these are propagandas and nobody should even ever be able to suck to this. And the black people that are sucking to this, I don't know what to say. This really, really got to me. And I don't want to prolong this video already because it is already long. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're landing on here for your very first time. I think for me for today, that's it. My name is Gracie and I love all of you. I'll see you in another amazing video. Until then, bye-bye.